ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
George Floyd's family meeting with President Biden 1 year after his death. We'll show you the different ways he's being remembered today, and we'll take a look at how the nation is still grappling with deadly policing incidents 1 year later. Plus, several different strains of COVID-19 have been detected since the onset of the pandemic. The big flaw scientists are dealing with as they try to learn more about the variants. And a lot of hugs and kisses as loved ones reunite with the crew of the USS Roosevelt today. See their happy return.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
Rallies, musical performances, and vigils are taking place across the country today to mark 1 year since George Floyd was killed at the hands of a police officer. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson.
And I'm Lindsay Pena. Floyd's death, all caught on video, sparked outrage and nationwide protests calling for change. Right now, this is a live look from George Floyd Square in Minneapolis, where a crowd has gathered. That area is also overflowing with flowers and decorations in Floyd's memory. We do have team coverage tonight. Let's start with ABC 10 News anchor Kimberly Hunt. She is joining us live from the County Administration Building, where a rally is expected to get underway later this evening. Kim.
Lindsay, the death of George Floyd caused law enforcement agencies across our country to take a look and reevaluate their practices. And today we caught up with the head of the San Diego Police Officers Association about some of the changes they've made by looking back and taking a hard look at themselves, as well as the struggles that lie ahead. The POA was very open about some of the changes that they've made. Nearly 2,000 police officers are encompassed within the POA, and many changes happen within the San Diego Police Department, including a ban on the carotid restraint, which is now also part of state law. Voters also approved a new independent commission on police practices in San Diego. More policing changes are on the horizon, we hear. Right now, there are more than 200 pieces of legislation in California that are on the table focused on law enforcement. The union president says there is still much work to do.
Hopefully, we're getting to a better place where maybe we can be less divided. As far as the society, I think there's a lot of steps were made in the last year. Things don't change overnight. But I think that, if we keep having real honest discussions, even some of the ones that aren't so comfortable, I think that it can only lead to making better decisions.
And police practices, of course, has been a topic all over the country. And for the very latest on that, we want to go to ABC News' Alex Brochet.
From Minneapolis to Washington, George Floyd's legacy being honored today. His family, including his daughter Gianna, meeting with President Biden behind closed doors at the White House.
Being here today is an honor, to meet with the president and the vice president and for them to show their concern to our family.
The president told the family he'd get a police reform bill passed by today. Congress has signaled that won't happen, but they're still optimistic.
Gianna said, "My daddy will change the world." And indeed, her prediction is coming true.
Bipartisan talks in the Senate now showing signs of progress after being stalled over the issue of qualified immunity for police officers.
The fundamentals of this bill has to be greater transparency in American policing, greater accountability in American policing, and then when bad things happen, officers have to be held accountable.
Democrats are pushing to end qualified immunity, which shields officers from being sued for damages for their actions on the job. And Republicans don't support that. Meanwhile, this morning in Minneapolis, gunfire inside the autonomous zone near George Floyd Square. The city confirms at least one person was injured. Our cameras live when it happened. Local leaders say the area has struggled with violence since Floyd's death. But Minneapolis is determined to celebrate the impact George Floyd's had on the nation, especially today. There's a celebration of life downtown with art, music, and games. But for many, it's more than that. It's a celebration of change. Data from the National Conference on State Legislatures found at least 82 bills enacted across the country aimed at police reform and transparency since Floyd's death. Meanwhile, Derek Chauvin, who was convicted of second and third degree murder, also second degree manslaughter for his role in George Floyd's death, will be sentenced next month, June 25th. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Minneapolis.
And police reform going far beyond Minneapolis. Today in our conversation with San Diego POA, they said they made changes to their de-escalation policies right here in San Diego. The Sheriff's Department also has made 12 different changes, de-escalation, part of them stopping carotid restraints, as well as making sure that they were recruiting from diverse communities. So many changes locally as well. And Lindsay, we want to show you the San Diego County Administration building, because within the next hour, hundreds of people are expected to be here in honor of the one-year anniversary of the death of George Floyd. That vigil happening right here at the County Administration building. We also have another crew here on scene. They are speaking to the organizers. Sean Harris right there beside me speaking, already on the premises, as well as other speakers this evening. So they are expecting, they tell me, about 500 people here at the San Diego County Administration building. Lindsay, back to you.
All right, thank you, Kim. And just hours ago, another group of local activists marked the anniversary of Floyd's death, chanting his name, holding a moment of silence, and calling for changes to the criminal justice system.
Say his name, George Floyd!
Members of the San Diego Coalition for Justice kneeling for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, the same amount of time Derek Chauvin was on George Floyd's neck.
I was thinking a lot about Floyd, thinking a lot about people that have died in the hands of law enforcement, and definitely praying for their souls.
The group is calling for officers accused of brutality or misconduct to be prosecuted.
Nobody should be above the law, and that's the fundamental problem with San Diego, and that's the fundamental problem with the U.S.
Members say they especially want to see charges filed in the case of Angel Hernandez, a 24-year-old local man who died in October of 2019 after being handcuffed and restrained by 2 transit officers.
It is our duty to ensure that core issues that threaten the very existence of people of color and Black people in San Diego are addressed, and we will not stop until they are resolved.
Activists are specifically calling on the district attorney to either prosecute or resign. They say they want to see real change and won't stop until they do.
This is a challenge to seek justice until it is earned or served.
Now, ABC 10 News did reach out to the district attorney's office for an interview or comment, but our requests went unanswered. And our coverage of the anniversary of George Floyd's death will continue at 5:30. Coming up, Francine Maxwell, the president of the San Diego branch of the NAACP, talks about the changes we've seen 1 year later and what still needs to change.
All right, now to the coronavirus here in our county. The federal government plans to spend nearly $2 billion to improve our ability to sequence and track COVID-19 variants. But scientists say there is still a key limitation with this early warning system. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth to explain why.
Here in San Diego County, health officials have detected more than 280 cases of variants in the last month, from the UK variant to the California variants to the Brazil variant, all thanks to the work of scientists like Karthik Gangavarapu.
These variants are completely different from what was previously circulating.
He's part of the team at Scripps Research Institute that takes swabs and runs them through sequencing machines to uncover the genetic code. The data they gather reveals a lot, but it also leaves him with questions.
There's a certain variant causing a difference in the type of infection. Is the infection longer or shorter? Is there more mortality or lower mortality? Is it causing more ICU or less ICU admissions?
He can see the genetic sequence, but he can't see how sick those patients got. Those two pieces of information are not linked together, and scientists say that's a big flaw with our nation's genomic surveillance system.
It would be extraordinarily powerful to have the full electronic health record to determine which variants we should worry about, which ones should be the ones that we're going to make the next generation of vaccines and so on.
UC San Diego's Dr. Gary Firestein says there are some complicated issues at play, including privacy laws and the technical challenge of simply converting a doctor's written notes into usable data.
There's really no standardized way, not just in the US, but anywhere, for really being able to transfer that sort of information in a consistent way.
Congress allocated $1.75 billion this year to boost viral sequencing around the country. The money is just beginning to roll out, but it's already having an impact. The U.S. went from sequencing about 0.3% of its cases in February to about 10% now. The bill's co-sponsor, Congressman Scott Peters, says the money will improve a lot of aspects of our genomic surveillance, but it won't fully solve the problem of data sharing.
I've been banging this drum since last year before there was a Biden administration. And the problem is we have too many data silos that don't talk to each other. In the federal government alone, there were 13 different agencies that touch your COVID health data. And it's a patchwork and it doesn't make any sense.
He's proposed a separate bill to help link health records with sequence data so we can stay ahead of this virus and the ones to come. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Right now, India is currently at the epicenter of the global coronavirus pandemic, but other countries are seeing cases rise at record levels. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, as of this week, Argentina has more than 3.5 million COVID cases. As a result, new lockdown measures have been put in place there. Nepal, which borders India, has more than 513,000 cases currently, and Bahrain has been averaging more than 2,000 new daily cases. The increases in infections, they come as progress of vaccinations remain uneven all across the world. A major milestone, half of Americans 18 or older have had at least one vaccine dose.
Thanks to vaccines, tens of millions of Americans are able to get back to something closer to normal.
That's the CDC director talking about hitting that milestone more than a month before the July 4th goal. The states are being creative to get more people vaccinated. Ohio says 3 million people have signed up ever since they announced a cash lottery for vaccinated residents. Moderna is also the latest company to deem its COVID-19 vaccine safe for adolescents. Today, the company announced the findings of its blood tests on children between 12 and 17 years old, saying that clinical trials showed 100% efficacy and no significant safety concerns were identified. Moderna says it plans to submit its results to the FDA next month, along with a request to use the vaccine in adolescents. And you can keep up with any new developments surrounding the pandemic by downloading our free mobile app. Just go to the App Store and search 10 News.
USS Roosevelt returned to San Diego today following a 5-month deployment across the Pacific. As you can see, there were a lot of happy reunions. This comes after a major coronavirus outbreak on the ship last year. As ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains, many crew members have now been vaccinated.
2 deployments in just 1 year for the USS Roosevelt, and families have been anxiously waiting for this moment.
Welcome home, you guys.
Welcome home, Cody. Long-awaited hugs and kisses, fathers meeting their newborn babies for the very first time.
It was amazing. It made all that time I was gone worth it. Coming back, getting to hold her.
Sailor Jason Jenkins thrilled to be home to celebrate his first Father's Day next month with his little girl, Sage.
I'm holding back the tears.
The USS Theodore Roosevelt left for a scheduled deployment to the Indo-Pacific in December. Over the last several months, the crew has been taking part in operations and exercises, including just earlier this month in the Gulf of Alaska. This was the second deployment in just 1 year. Last spring, more than 1,200 sailors contracted COVID-19 and 1 died after an outbreak on the ship. The commanding officer at the time, Captain Brett Crozier, was relieved of his duties despite an outpouring of support from much of the crew on board. Rear Admiral Doug Verismo says the crew has now been offered a COVID-19 vaccine.
A large majority of crew took the vaccine. Some folks deferred for an alternate vaccine choice, and some aren't quite sure they want to take it. We're leaving that optional.
Nancy Pintor says she was worried as her sister left for that second deployment, but now thankful to have her home and healthy.
She didn't get the COVID, so that's good. She was telling me, I got my shot, you know. We can go eat now. I can't wait to get home.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
There were 3 asymptomatic COVID-19 cases on board during this deployment, but Navy officials say they were able to keep the virus from spreading.